Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 12 Week 4. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. Tuning in here with my co-caster, the Sky Joker. Sky, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I am feeling fantastic. I finally woken up and just in time to catch the Onward action here today or tonight or this morning, wherever you are in the great big globe.
Yep, it is an EU battle, Hungary versus France. Link Up versus EVF. I don't want to risk butchering that name. I guess I'll go for it. Equip Virtuelle Francophone. Now, that could be completely wrong, but we'll be sticking with EVF here for today, and very interested to see what we get out of both of these squads, Sky. They are eager to duke it out, and so we don't even have to talk about the pick bans, at least not yet. We can save that for between rounds, as they are ready to go and get into this action for map number 1 on Quarantine, Sky. We dive in to this first round right away, with EVF on defense and Link Up on offense. And I guess while we have this sort of setup phase, Sky, we can talk about these teams a little bit, right? Link Up new to Season 12, but EVF certainly not.
Yeah, EVF definitely going to be bringing in a lot of experience here coming into the league at Season 3. Link Up, a much newer team, just coming out the gate. We're going to see a lot of one of those, bring in the old meta, mix in with the new meta, and just see how they collide.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting to sort of figure out how these new teams versus an old will face off. And Link Up has had a tough start to Season 12, but they have been battling throughout their efforts here in Season 12. They are, I believe, 0-4 currently, but they've put up round wins for, I think, every single game they've played. I don't know. I think they've also won a map for, I believe, 3 out of the 5 games they've played. And so they have come in and put up a good battle against their squads. They just haven't secured the W. And out the gate, they find a 1-for-1 exchange. But they do take control of this 2-story and allows for that angle to get scooped up. Nashorn going to confirm the kill. Off to the races is Link Up as they have a 4v3 advantage.
I'm watching Link Up move their way across the map, and they are doing it very well. They're covering each other. They're holding the angles. They're getting their picks. They're definitely not showing their newer side.
No, it does look like an experienced squad approaching this objective here. One thing I'm not hearing a ton of is communication, and I don't think I have the bug today, so I'm pretty sure we can't hear comms, but I'm not hearing a lot of those comms here coming out from these teams as they do push up. And, well, maybe they don't need it. They are pretty synced up with each other. Maybe they are communicating and I don't hear it. Who knows? But still, Link, oh no, there's a good pick. The aggressive from Monster, and the dive off of the edge from Hunter with the confirm from Nashorn. Great teamwork.
Wow.
And again, this Link Up squad is looking good.
Yeah, they have a good idea on where their teammates are, where they need to hold. They're getting refrags. They're supporting lines of fire. And now they're getting ready to push the objective. And a nice shot from Ghoul is into a 3v1.
Soon to be a 3v none as Link Up take round 1 and snag the Marsoc W. A 1-0 lead here out the gate. And we do have to now go back and set up the rest of the scene here, Sky. The bans for today coming in from both sides. Link Up getting rid of Subway and EVF getting rid of Cargo. Map 1, as you already know, is going to be Quarantine. And, you know, it's kind of hard to determine the purpose of a ban with a brand new team, right? You don't necessarily know even what their strengths or weaknesses are necessarily, and that's often what a ban revolves around, right? The strength and weakness of a team. We do see, though, that 2 close quarters maps are off the table, Sky, so certainly likely that we're in for a long-range battle here today, and Quarantine is maybe an indicator of that starting.
I really like starting with Quarantine because of the variety that this map can give you. So I enjoy watching how teams utilize that variety, and it's a really pace setter. You can play it slow, you can play it fast. You're not forced into close, tight quarters. You're also not forced into long range crosses. You can set your own pace right off the bat. And I really like that as a beginning match or beginning map.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites to tune into as well, and I always do talk about it, but it's because of that variety with all of the different objectives. It really does take a well-practiced, a well-oiled machine to be able to battle and compete on Quarantine. And again, Sky, link up looking pretty dang good there out of that attack. Very coordinated and taking a MARSOC round nonetheless. Now EVF have to come in here and try and put up a good round themselves with a very different spawn.
Yeah, the link up squad has definitely shown they can move and cover each other and push an objective, but now they have to show that they can not only hold the objective, but also rotate and react to the changing environment that's going to ensued as the battle continues.
And I wish I understood French. Maybe one day we'll have French casters in here, Sky, to help us interpret the French plays, but we do have the active communication, so we are definitely hearing comms here, and I am still surprised how quiet Link Up was on that attack, despite how coordinated they were.
Pop shots back and forth, not quite finding their mark, but as I say that, Mike manages to find one of the defenders. Now this is where it all happens. How does the defense rotate and react to losing one of their own?
Ooh, Shepard's gonna swing wide.
Push. Can you get that confirmed though?
No, and Will might go for the res. Mike's calling for it. They get it.
Oh, as Shepard decides to rotate to go find Will, they leave each other's line of sights.
And a good lesson learned there, always confirm your kills. And I think Link Up even tried to do that, but couldn't quite. Jeez, and Castile a little bit out of sync with the rest of the EVF squad, pushing it across that street without any utility. Didn't have the support of Will or Mike to sort of distract this defender, which they do want to have. Oh, and Monsieur V finds the kill.
I think you nailed that.
You think so?
Yeah, it's perfect. My American self approves.
Oh, that's enough
Oh, and
for
he's
me.
going for the cross. This is actually a free cross. If he makes it to the wall, he's going to have a solid hold on center building. Center burning.
Yeah, Link Up have been getting picked apart here on defense, and EVF are on track to bounce back with a MARSOC round of their own. These two defensive positions, a little flicking is certainly at risk of a nade, but Link Up may be able to catch an unaware rotator as Monsieur almost gets scooped up there. Ghoul dives back into the corner. And I think
The
that's a
two-man
nade.
hold is a huge indicator of how good a squad is. How can these two players link up with each other, pun intended, and hold this objective? Oh, but as he creeps through the smoke, he manages to get picked up. And now it's just down to blicking.
You know, I saw the name. I've seen names use letters as like borders around it, so I almost wonder if that's a thought is Ho. I really don't know, but either way, it is a 1v4 here, and blicking. Yeah, they're in a tough spot, Sky. This is like you said. I think it's the right place to be, though.
This is definitely the last man position you want to be. It is die or win. Unless he's not careful and somebody manages to get on the other side of the building from him, but...
Oh yeah, the C4 detonates. Here's the rotation behind him, and Will gonna win before that gun can get pulled up. EVF with a very good MARSOC round themselves. We're tied 1-1 here, Sky. I don't really know what to be expecting in this series. And I always say these early rounds are tough indicators of what you could expect for the rest of the series, but so far, it's 2 MARSOC rounds locked in, and we now go to a north objective, which I think is much easier to defend than the one we just saw.
Yeah, and this might be a good time to kind of talk about the basics for our maybe non-players / new viewers over at venues.
Yeah. If you don't know what Horizon Venues is, go download it on your Quest or Quest 2. It is a free app. You can watch these games on a gigantic screen with with other people that do enjoy watching these games together, and you can all kind of cheer for your respective favorite team in the same space and get to watch these games on what is like a movie theater sized screen. It's a really cool way to enjoy the esports action, and it does sort of bring that vibe of being in stands watching a game with other people. So if you want to check it out, Horizon Venues on Quest and Quest 2. That's only on the weekends, though. Those games, these games are brought to you Saturday at 6 p.m. PST and Sunday at 12 p.m. PST. And so be sure to put it down on your calendar for next weekend if you do want to catch a Saturday night matchup. With that, Sky, we're back into the action. Round number 2 or 3. Geez, the math. Whew. 1 + 1. Round number 3 as we kick in again to that north side OBJ.
One of my favorite things to see in a team, the trading of drum mags.
Ooh, Shepard with the early rotation out there. Could have been caught if they were on the hunt. But EVF not diving out earlier, looking for anything too crazy aggressive off of their defensive setup. I wonder what Link
really likes this 4-1 split.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the plan is. You know, it's an interesting rotation to be taking when you have to attack north. I think they're going to try and get a few, at least 1 or 2, all the way over into that far east side.
Yeah, I think the goal here is to place people in early lines where they can catch anybody rotating or peeking outward. And while they do that, they're each going to take their own point of approach. And I think they're going to push in from multiple angles is what it looks like they're doing.
Yeah, it's a very high-level play.
It's going to be a long change up.
It's a very high-level strategy. It's a setup phase that takes a lot of time and coordination. The execution is also one of the hardest phases to pull off with a play like this, where you do split up. All 5 do split up, but they are staying 3-1 or 2-1-2, which does make that coordination a little bit easier. And so we'll see if they're able to find some fixes. Link Up Hunter able to grab the toes of Monsieur V underneath that armored truck, and there's an early advantage for Link Up.
Now it's going to be a matter of, can the East pace up with the West? The West has been sitting here for a little while. They need to maintain that level of patience and wait for the East to continue their push, and that's going to all come down to timing.
Interestingly enough, it does seem like there's a bit of a lacking coverage here on this east cross, and so I think Hunter and Shepard could be able to get across.
Both make it.
Yeah.
They're gonna end up on the backside of Thought here in a moment. As he makes a rotation, finds one.
J'ai eu un mort à l'arrière.
A very well-timed peek. You know, perfectly timed. Mike is actually going to catch one. There's the refrag. That's the benefit of working as a duo. Ghoul able to rotate around just in time. They're still getting eyed on as we also have the exchange of fire on both sides of the map. Nashorn trying to take some shots up onto that roof. They are vulnerable to a drop down from Mike, but Ghoul is there to prevent that from happening. And so I wonder if Mike is going to stay diligent and just hold on to this tucked in corner.
The defense needs to be careful here because the two that are engaging these attackers are way off of objective. If they're not careful, they're going to get tunnel vision on this building. And Shepard could sneak by Thought or take down Thought, and then that's almost a cap.
There's a big kill. The rooftop defender down. EVF is down to 2. Mike is kind of trapped way over on that other side. And again, to your point, both defenders a bit off OBJ, although Thought does have that eye line. If they so choose it, they can rotate. Oh, there's a kill, though, a trade. And there's another one coming in. The long-range shots ringing true from Ghoul. No, they just miss as Thought tucks into the corner. Shepard continues to push. Thought comes flying out, and they find the second attacker as Link Up pinched perfectly on that OBJ with 2 minutes left and secure another Marsoc round, Sky. We continue to trade Marsoc rounds here.
Wow. And something to note for people who may not understand and might have thought, why would that last defender just run out in the open? Well, to the point, that was actually the smart thing to do, because if the Marsoc had gotten to the objective and typed in a code, they would have actually gotten 2 points. So when you're last man on defense, the smart thing to do, especially if you're against so many attackers in so many directions, the best thing you can do is run out and get yourself killed, because then the enemy team only gets 1 point.
Yeah, and I mean, really, we are seeing, you know, despite some risks being taken, good plays on both sides, good attacks, with the setup phase being executed nicely there, finding some extra kills. And Sky, I don't know, something I've been throwing out in my cast, but I feel like there's really 2 distinct phases to, around the setup phase where a Marsoc team tries to position themselves into spaces where they maybe look for a defensive rotation or get ready to attack, and then that execution phase where you have to finally pounce onto the objective or the final defenders. And I feel like that setup phase there actually netted them a few extra kills. You know, it's always a good thing if you can find those picks, those rotations early. And EBF battled back. We are still, we are seeing good rounds from both sides when these are coming through. And so, personally, Sky, I'm just happy to be tuning in to what is turning out to be so far a pretty even matchup. At least both Marsoc teams playing quite well here today. We'll see if EVF can put up a Marsoc round of their own. They're going to get a little bit of a different spawn here, Sky. This is going to be a quick spawn.
Once again, foreign languages always sound so beautiful. Yet, who knows what they're talking about?
This quick spawn is going to get identified right away. Shots ringing in from Mike, but not finding any purchase there. And another defender is going to come around to this same angle. Very risky to stack up here, as you do see Hunter back off. Looking going to also rotate off, and it's going to allow for Castile to push up here on Sierra on the back. Not quite connected. Castile, if anything, a little bit out of sync with the rest of the squad as they continue to push forward here. Hunter seems to be ready for this swing on the corner.
Oh, a shotgun. Something you don't see too often, especially on this sort of map. Wow. On quarantine, nonetheless.
It almost feels like a gamble that they took to pick a shotgun on this map, because really it only would be super effective on this spawn for this objective. You know, this is the only place where they could get this kind of close quarters and get interaction. And so Castile seemingly picking the right choice there. Finds one, but Blicking is also still here. Sorry for that little bit of lag there, as finds another.
Just in time to save Will from getting picked off. That was perfect teamwork right there. Perfect coverage.
Nashorn, so dangerous here to go on this rotation. Will just hunting for this corner. Nashorn is going to peek. And Will doesn't take the shots. Nashorn able to find the kill up and over. Finally getting one for this link-up defense. Blicking, meanwhile, going to fly around the corner, and they are too late.
Wow.
Both Castile and Monsieur tuck in. Now they have to rotate back to the other corner where they actually have some support from their teammate way back in the deep. And so far, Link Up seemingly reacting appropriately, but we'll see if Blicking can catch this one.
Blicking's going to go for the aggressive swing on him. He finds one, looks for the second. Doesn't quite connect through the smoke. The shotgun coming in once again.
Kind of dangerous to be pushing into this super tight position. It's Castile with that shotty, but on the other side, there is action suppressing that rooftop defender as Castile peeks out through the smoke. That smoke's got, what, maybe another 5 or 10 seconds left on it, so it is going to dissipate, and I wonder if they're going to try and use this to push Blicking.
A beautiful smoke onto Ghoul's position. Gonna force him to kind of move around. Castile goes for the swing. And, oh, shotgun to the face. Wow, Castile bringing out some new meta, looks like.
Yeah, that shotty nabbing him 2 kills on that west side so far. A powerful tool being utilized by them. EVF still, though, down to 3. We're into a 2v3, make it a 2v2. Ghoul finds another, and Castile now is in a position where that shotty not so handy. You know, it's going to be...
He grabbed his teammate's weapon to grab that longer angle.
Oh, Thought finds that kill.
And now it's just down to Nashorn, who has the right line to catch any cross from the west. Might find
hits the shots.
Oh! Doesn't quite make the shots. The confirm onto Ghoul. Do they have a good kill count as they go in for the pinch on the objective? If Castile stays behind the semi, he could go for it.
Yeah, they could. This could be a cap attempt to come through from Castile, but Nashorn, Nashorn not going to allow it. And again, Sky, we're seeing good defensive plays when they matter there. That is the right commitment to be making, you know, to be swinging out like that in that last moment. That could have, like you said, could have been 3-2 right there, but because the defender does commit to making sure the objective is safe, they end up dying, and it's just 1 point to that attacking team. But still, we have traded now 4 Marsoc rounds in a row.
Wow.
For map 1.
You don't see that too often.
You really don't.
Or, yeah. I think it's a lot more fun to watch trading of Marsoc rounds because a lot more happens. And the attacks just look so darn good, especially here.
Fun to see 2 teams, especially Link Up, fresh to Season 12, putting up such a good battle here, Sky. I mean, EVF also has been a team that's been evolving over the course of... I mean, they're really like a testament to growth over seasons. You know, their first 3 seasons, if you look back at the history, were bronze. They were in that bronze division. And that's fine. You know, teams still enjoy the league in all the divisions that they're in. You know, you have good matchups in that bronze division with other bronze teams. But they continued to grow, and over the course of time, they've gone from bronze to silver to gold. And I think now they are currently a gold team. And so they're starting now Season 12 right where they left off. And they definitely want to put up a win here today so that they can continue to grow as a team and climb that regular season ladder. For those that don't know, That regular season ladder is a, well, it lasts about 15 weeks, sometimes shorter. And at the end of that season, we take the top 8 teams in the ladder and put them up in a tournament, and they compete against each other. At the end of that tournament, the top 3 teams take away prizing, which is contributed from our sponsors. We'll get into that a little bit more, Sky, as we dive back into the action for round number 5.
Another quick spawn coming out, and the Marsoc quickly gain a hold of that hospital building. That's going to prove deadly for EVF. That is a very key building you do not want to give up.
Oh, look at Mike.
Oh, man, he is in the hive.
I think they know where he is. Yeah, the call-out came in.
Oh.
A 1-for-1 quick trade, though, as Castile, not using the shotgun there, is able to find one over the top. Another kill coming in from Nashorn as Castile confirms Ghoul. And so EVF down to 3 just like that, and it is a fast spawn, so the on-objective defense is really just kind of cut down to Thought, unless Castile can do some damage here. Oh, they don't even peek into this corner.
So dangerous. If they forget about Castile and Burning, they could line themselves up for a multi-kill. Again, a 1-for-1 comes out. Oh, but Thought cleaning house.
Almost catches the third there. Blicking peeked the corner, and Thought just barely misses that shot. But a huge kill and an interesting position from them. I haven't really seen that spot taken ever, Sky. I don't think I've seen anyone tuck into that little off corner there. But does pay off until they rotate out of it. And Blicking able to find that refrag, avenge his teammates, and we're into a 2v1 with the callouts from Mike and Castile, which are actually pretty dang valuable. Mansour can afford to stay in their position.
As you say that, though, they decide that's not the position I want to be in. I want to be on the objective, ready to die just like that. And once again, Marsoc take it up in an aggressive push.
Crazy. Every single round of Marsoc round on quarantine. Nonetheless.
Quarantine. Wow. You'll love to see it, though.
Yeah.
That just means we get to see more Onward action, which is what we came here to do.
Yeah, and it's not even, you know, we're 6 rounds deep, but it has been a fast series, you know, or fast map 1 at least. These rounds have been going very quick, and I think it's kind of an interesting note to be had there, Sky, that these Marsoc teams are winning, and they are not taking even sometimes half of the time of a round. You know, it is a very... maybe it is all these fast spawn. You know, we haven't really had a long, a not quick spawn for these objectives yet, it feels like. But, you know, that's the beauty of quarantine, right? Even on the objectives, with all the different objectives that there are, you have these spawns that can change widely the timing and the rollouts, the offensive attacks of those rounds. And so it's just... again, why I do love watching Quarantine, and man, for map 1, this has been interesting. You know, I gotta wonder, you know, in the back of my mind, what, if anything, what's gonna be map 2? You know, if EVF can win this map, or at the very least keep it close, where do we go for our second map pick here, with Cargo being banned, Subway off the table? It is a thought that is crossing my mind as we do get up into map point for Link Up Warriors. Back into it we go for round 6.
Your point here, looks like we are going to get one of those long spawns, so we might see a change in pace on how EVF approach this objective.
I guess ask and you shall receive. But yeah, we're going to get a much longer setup phase here. EVF.
Wow.
Going for a 3-2 split. And seemingly favoring this north side, which is an indicator to me that they're going to try and take good control of the west. How else do you really enter into this objective other than from that west side.
Yeah, if you don't gain control of Hospital, the west side is your next best approach, coming in from the back of most of the defenders. You could also, if you go a central approach, you could go center burning and sneak your way across to Twins, or to the garage, but that is a very risky rotation. However, it could pay dividends if nobody's watching it, because that puts you right on the corner for a cap.
And, you know, one thing that we are seeing here is a very planned attack from EVF. And so I think what we've been seeing from all of these MARSOC approaches, they are very much a planned approach. You know, Will has taken this position to cover exactly what he's covering there, the suppressive fire down on to, I believe that was Hunter in that burning building. It has pushed Hunter off the burning building and now affords a little bit more freedom for this west rotation. And so it all is a, you know, a coordinated effort here. As Hunter gets distracted, Thought finds the rooftop kill. EVF with a great setup here, catch one early and continue to work their way over through the west.
And as a side effect of Thought's pickup, Nashorn is now tunnel visioned on where those shots came from. He might miss the rotation of the two EVF MARSOC players coming right under him.
Shepard able to at least get one back. Cuts down that south offset, which they could have, would have been nice to have, but doesn't seem to be key for this approach considering where we're at here as the kill comes up and Castile with that shotty catches another one.
Wow. Castile just owning this part of the map with that shotgun. He has decided that that is his quadrant of the map these last two rounds.
Really impressive to see how effective they have been with that shotgun on offense. Link up now down to just 3, though, and it does make this defense a little bit... I think they're still good, though. They have Ghoul, who's on it. They have Blicking on objective. Shepard can rotate. Nobody's really too far off to crash back and defend the OBJ, and so I feel like Link Up are positioned well for a late approach, but might be hard to catch picks out unless Shepard can get Thought here up on the roof.
If Shepard goes down, we could see an opening for the rotation I mentioned before down the center, as nobody else is watching it. So it's going to be tough for them to react on this. Shepard needs to be careful about all the peaks that he's doing.
Wow, now you really got me thinking about that name. I think it could be Shepard. I didn't even think about that.
Language barriers are tough. It could just be their way of saying Shepard.
Sure, chat can correct this. Either way, smoke comes out to the corner, and it seems to be doing its job. It's not utilized, but it is drawing the attention of Ghoul and Co. Blicking also kind of looking over to that side. Shepard rotating back to objective.
He's watching that cross as Ghoul manages to pick up one. Castile's going to have a tough time digging these players out with this shotgun from here. He's actually switched to his handgun, something you very rarely see, especially.
Yeah. Will able to scoop up Shepard there, trying to rotate out of those smokes. And we're into a 3v2. Blicking, though, still on that ultimate defensive position. Really going to be preventing any caps from coming through. As Will does get even closer. Ghoul threw some shots up over. Castile's getting within range of that shotgun to be effective. And they can't quite catch Ghoul as Ghoul turns to find the kill. Blicking rounds the corner to catch one. And we're into a 2v1. A good hold so far as Will is going to catch... No, approach Blicking for the cap. Ghoul able to fire those shots through the door in the first Volk round gets locked up to secure the map for Link Up Warriors. A solid job there. And a very good map 1 to kick off this series, Sky.
Yeah, the craziness of the back and forth Marsoc rounds leading up to this defense. And something to note, as I was kind of alluding to at the beginning, looking at how EVF have been in since Season 3, Warriors have just started. You would think, oh man, EVF are just gonna, have all the fun, and Warriors, Warriors are just not gonna be able to do anything against the brick wall. Boy, was I proven wrong, and so are a lot of the connoisseurs who are thinking the same thing, as EVF have 31 connoisseurs voting in their favor, while Warriors have a single connoisseur voting in their favor.
Crazy. Yeah, and
all
for
of
those
us
that,
getting proved wrong.
For those that don't know, the connoisseur vote system is a system that if you go to VRML.com and are a registered user, you can vote for who you think will come out on top of a series, and then that gets recorded throughout the course of a season, is put up on a leaderboard, and winners get bragging rights for being able to predict the most amount of correct wins or losses in a series, or in a season, excuse me. And it's pretty fun, but it's also kind of an indicator of what the community thinks a team is capable of. To some extent, what the community expects a team is capable of at the very least. And EVF, like you said, have favor, but Link Up, I mean, it's not to be dramatic, but going through all of the new teams, I always am looking for, the next Raptors, right? Because Raptors came in season 11 and really, I think they actually were created at the end of season 10. Yeah.
They were one of the new teams at the beginning of season 10. The quest push.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And
or wave.
Lo and behold, they become an absolute powerhouse in season 11. And we haven't tuned into a game of theirs yet this season. But again, it's because we've been keeping an eye on all of these new squads that have been coming up. There's been a tremendous amount of new teams, people that have been playing Echo and contractors creating teams in Onward and trying to get their foothold into that bronze division. It has been really exciting to also see new teams come in that are seemingly ready to compete in the silver to gold space. And clearly, Link Up Warriors are coming in here new. I mean, I always do the research. I looked at the captain, the co-captain, both of them fresh to season 12 as well, and so maybe we have a potential new Raptors team here on our hands if they can continue to develop. We'll see. Of course, they did have a tough start. They are 0-4. It's why the connoisseur votes were so heavily favored into EVF. But I am seeing certain indicators, at least, from this Link Up team. For them to be so new, Sky, to have that kind of coordination is impressive. It's hard to be coordinated in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I expected to see. I expected to see some new wacky things, and we did see a shotgun and a pistol, but that was from EVF, ironically. So it's very cool. It's cool to watch a team come in and definitely have developed ideas and strategies. They've definitely practiced and they've definitely researched. And I'm sure your beautiful casts were part of that research.
Everyone's cast, Sky. Everybody contributes in the casting team, which is growing. So keep an eye out for new casters popping into co-casts next week. Maybe even some Spanish casts for that Spanish community out there. Maybe it will inspire other foreign-speaking individuals that want to cast to put out a application. Maybe we'll continue to build out that possibility. If we have any French casters out there, I think we do. I want to get involved. That would always be something I'd like to discuss, but that's for later, Sky. Map 2 has unfolded. EVF's map pick And as they go on the offense, they instantly run into a little bit of action. Castile has to duck down and avoids those shots from range as Shepard and Hunter do rotate around to the edge.
There's a very pushed out defense that you don't see too often. I'm wondering if they're eventually going to hold some cross map lines or if they're going to continue on a flank. BF managing to pick up one. Link Up's going to have to be careful here with these two flankers way out in the distance. If they start losing people closer to the objective, they need to be ready to go back.
Castile
watching each other.
Just playing the silent game here. Pushing up. The shot he clips the shoulder, but doesn't find the full kill. They continue to push and can't connect there as Shepard drops off. Poole catches out Monsieur, and so we're into a 4v4. Castile drops back, and nobody able to get much out of this interesting exchange. Shepard goes down to the shotty, which again finds success for Castile.
Shotty with the laser on it, I think, too. You'd expect to see maybe a flashlight for the blinding effect. No, he's gone with the laser.
This rotation's interesting. Castile.
Oh, right on the back.
Castile counter-rotating, though. May hear the footsteps, might not. Hunter.
Oh, my goodness.
No, doesn't catch them.
What?
And now everybody's confused.
Nobody knows what's happening. And the trade to finish out that encounter into a 2v3.5. That revive definitely doable.
Yeah, I do wonder if they'll go for it, though. It requires the cross from Thought, and they're in an Overwatch position to support Mike, who's pushed up through the center. Ghoul and Blicking, the last two defenders available, and Ghoul, if they do decide to peek this corner, could be at risk as Mike has his eyes dialed in. Down goes another for the Link Up Warriors, and Blicking now the lone defender, who is in at least a sort of end-all be-all position on objective.
That seems to be Blicking's role. On objective, ready to die when necessary.
It is a vital position to be having, but at the same time, this could get bad fast for the likes of Blicking. If that res comes through, it's a 4v1. And when you have this kind of advantage as an attacking team, you want to try and set up for a cap attempt. And so I wonder if they will circle around this objective as they clear all these different positions and try to go for a cap attempt with some utility.
Blicking definitely has a lot on his plate as there are many cap positions in this building. And one thing you always got to worry about that not a lot of teams do is a flashbang toss into the room, and then while you're blind, the person goes in for the cap. Not a lot of teams do it, but it is a threat if you have a fast capper on the enemy team.
Jeff, ever closer here. Castile with the shotty to be effective in these close quarters. Tries to blind fire the corner, can't connect. His teammate Thought has to reload as the heal comes through, and Blicking survives just a bit longer. It flies out the corner off of that nade pole.
Wow. Blicking's super aggression to either win or die is actually paying off for him as he finds two attackers not prepared for such an aggressive swing. And he's evening things up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think one thing we did see here is a little bit of an out-of-sync push from the likes of EVF. That duo has to rotate all the way around. You can see Will finally finishing that rotation. But to get up behind here, it is a very long wrap. That takes a long time. And so Will and Mike finally get up to the objective, but now it's a 2v1 instead of a 4v1.
And they're going for the pinch, which is what the other duo should have staged up for. And they have a bit better chances. Mike gonna sneak in under fire, or under the suppression. He's now in the objective room. He's not pulling the tablet out. He's going for the kill, which is going to prove fatal for him. As Blicking gets the rotation, now bringing this to a 1v1. Will he clutch this?
7 seconds left. They're just going to survive. Will's not going to be able to get the code. Time ticks down.
Oh my goodness.
Blicking.
He is getting an applause intent.
Yeah. There better be somebody giving that person an award or something.
He played that so professionally in that 1v4. I didn't even notice the time.
Yeah, and you know, interestingly enough, I wasn't paying attention to it either. It's probably because it hasn't been a factor in a series today yet, right? But here it is, Blicking utilizing that time to their advantage to force that Volk win, the 1v4 to win that. And you know, I think again, it's just all about the execution phase that I was talking about to you earlier, Sky. That's where I think EVF failed. They had the opportunity as they set up to surround the objective, but those two just a little bit out of sync on their rotation. They didn't come up from the middle. They came around, and that time spent rotating ends up allowing an offset attack. And wow, a really a great play overall, right? They get the kills, but then the knowledge to back off and just take that 5 seconds to get the round win is also pretty impressive.
I'm just still trying to process all of that. It was to start off the round, a ring around the rosy around the giant rock, and then coming into a 4v1 defense. I mean, wow. Or 1v4. That's what we came here to watch, Nightfire. And it is not disappointing us at all whatsoever.
Oh, wow. And Link Up are posed to do some serious damage here. They've just locked in that last defensive round, and now get a very fast spawn right on top of objective out the gate. And if EVF isn't ready for this, they're going to be in a world of hurt. This is a super quick spawn, and already Monsieur catching some rounds. What is this defense going to do? They lose one on the backside. Castile is still switching over to their position. They hear these shots and don't even think it could be enemy related.
Wow. You see 3 defenders that were pushing out for some pushed up defensive positions, and now they immediately have to run back to grab the objective. But Hunter's in there. He has breached the building, gets shot from outside. Castile and Thought need to get back inside. Mike still way off of objective, also needs to be rotating back. Nashorn has objective building. He is now playing defender. The trade comes out into a 1v2. Shepard's gonna find Mike on his rotation. And again, a 1v1, but a lot faster this time.
Wow.
5 minutes on the clock.
A wild round there, and a great retake by EVF. A little late on recognizing that they had to turn, but they finally communicate that this is the case. And, you know, very crucial timing on that crash back. That was 3-0 in the hands of Link Up. They had objective building control 100%. And that rotation, catching out those kills inside objective building, massive for the EVF defense. And now Shepard alone in a 1v1. And I just now maybe realized that as they checked their tablet. They are rotating around, though, and oh no, that's unfortunate. They take some fall damage. And now they're just 1 hit away from death.
There is a line here onto objective that Shepard could take if Thought's not careful. Through that front door, if he slips in and stays under the catwalk, he could cap. Gonna have to be very quiet about it, though. Although this objective makes a lot of noise inside of this building, along with that generator, could hide some footsteps.
Gosh, and that spawn is crazy. I just don't even think EVF were aware that link up could spawn there. You know, it really just seemed to catch them off guard. Maybe Shepard can continue to catch this EVF team off guard. Well, the final defender, that is, his thought tucks in. And, you know,
No way Shepard has a kill count with all those trades.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. We know they're in a 1v1, but hard for Shepard to know that.
For all he knows, there's 4 people waiting in that building for him. Which is probably why he's playing this so cautiously. He still expects people to possibly be outside looking out, people inside. He has no idea.
Well, yeah, and they also have a lot of time, right? Shepard with 2:40 left on the clock. They can afford to be very methodical in their approach here and ensuring that, you know, all these initial spots are clear before they try and make any sort of entry in. And I think one thing that I'm at least noticing here is smart plays on defense from these final defenders from both sides. It's smart for Thought to be inside here, reminiscent of Blicking's defense as they hold on to this final as the final defender. And the Shepard has made it inside. Oh, no, they haven't. They're just on the outside wall there. I thought they made it into that.
Oh.
Wow.
Unfortunate. He had a 1/3 chance of going through the door that was being watched, and he picked the wrong one. Thought holding down the line, and we trade Volk round now.
Yep. Just barely. We trade Volk rounds, but we do
a
trade
lot less
Volk
commandingly than we traded Marsoc rounds in the previous map.
We might as well have traded Marsoc rounds there. Either way, a exciting kickoff to Abandon as we tie up 1-1. And I'm sure a lot of folks out there wondering, you know, if EVF are going to be able to at least take their map pick. The process here, home team gets to choose first map, away team gets to choose the second, home team gets to pick the third. We always play out that third map regardless of the series outcome. So even if Warriors win here, we'll still play out map 3. And EVF have picked Abandoned here, you know, and I think even though it is a map that they have chosen, it still is a map that they aren't 100% on, because we just saw there the lack of preparation for what is that very fast spawn on that objective. And so could that happen again? Possibly, depending on the objective spawn and their knowledge of it. But EVF still able to put one on the board there, and we'll see how they put out this attack round on this objective, which I do feel like is kind of tough to defend.
Yeah, this one's definitely in a very awkward position for a defense. You almost have to be off of objective looking in, because anybody inside of that triangle of the objective is at high risk of getting capped on because of all the angles they have to be focused on. You definitely do not want them to be inside of that triangle. The earlier you can catch the crosses, the better. But you also put yourself at risk if anybody pokes through and you miss your shots. That's a cap. And as you see, rotating off of the objective is risky, as people can pick up those early lines. And we have a trade 1-for-1. Nashorn picking up an aggressive push.
That res still available, as Ghoul is going to get aggressive on this defensive swing out here, managing to catch one out. They've bypassed Will, which could be a potential gap in coverage later. But even then, Will has a long rotation to make. And on the other side, you have Monsieur V, who is also swinging around wide and very vulnerable to the likes of Hunter if they just want to look down to this lakeside.
It's going to come down to timing here. Monsieur in a great position for a sneaky approach. If Will can take down Hunter for him, That would be key, but the shots come out. That's going to give away his position. Now he has to be careful for Hunter swinging on him.
I don't think Hunter wants to peek too much into that through that window. And as I say that, they finally commit. They get the kill. A res comes through, and EVF are cut down to just Will. As Blicking dives off the edge.
Decided to try and be Superman. Didn't quite work out for him, though. Now Will getting suppressed by the likes of Hunter, doing a great job in this 3-story office building, holding down the map control.
Maybe Link Up's just trying to pad their res stats. We got another potential res there as well. It'd be 3 on this round. Old Will all alone here in a 1v4, could be 5. They go for that res onto Shepard, but doesn't seem to be the case. Oddly enough, they're just kind of going to be sitting out there as a point of communication.
Man, how do you approach this if you're Will?
Well, I think at least they're on the appropriate side, and Will is now looking for any kind of picks down into that objective space.
Definitely got the ammo to do this.
Seems to be very aware of a defender up in that corner, but those shots do not connect.
LMG, a little too much kick for him.
Yeah.
As he can't quite nail down the shots.
And if anything, has now given away their position. Look at the overhead. You do see one flanker there. That's been committed to that rotation on the east, slowly making their way up here to the side of Will. And now Will in a very tough spot. Suppressed by Hunter, suppressed from that other side. And I feel like this is the right approach, to try and get rid of Hunter and then come down from this hill, but getting rid of Hunter is going to be a very hard task. Will's going to have to find a very thin shot through that window.
Yeah, without any zoom optics, that's a very hard window to peek through. It's very dark in there. Not an easy thing to weed out. Something to note, EVF Will has actually brought in a bipod instead of a foregrip, something you don't see too often once again.
Yeah, we did see him deploy it on that windowsill when they were trying to tag Link Up in that far side. I thought it looked like that M249 attached to the wall, and wow, a nice pickup there on the Blicking trying to rotate over. Will actually in a pretty nice spot here. Hunter is waiting for any exposure from Will. The minute 15 going to be very hard to get out of here.
Hunter versus Will with the 2 box mag LMGs.
Yeah, now
Will has some smoke.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and use it to get out of here.
Throws it towards the objective. Interesting choice. Maybe put one close. There it is. I think the smart thing to do would be for Will to actually peek the other side of the dumpster and shoot Hunter while he's putting shots down into the smoke here. He's going to go for the cross.
He gets out of the smoke, but getting past that smoke and into that big gap is going to be the hard part. Is Hunter able to shut down that cross? The 3v1 attempt, not quite successful there, as Link Up continue to hold on to the lead, go up 2-1. And a solid defensive hold there from that Link Up squad. You know, interesting to see that spread defense style, because it is so risky. I mean, if Hunter loses, if they lose their on-objective defense, you know, and there's a flank, I guess Hunter's position is really the end-all be-all, right? But if they smoke that objective, you can cap before Hunter can rotate all the way to that to the objective to stop it. So a successful defense nonetheless, very successful, as they had a 4v1 opportunity, but EVF now have to put up a defensive round of their own. Curious to see what sort of style they throw at it, if they will. And again, I feel like this objective kind of awkward to defend, right? Because you almost have to spread out and get really far away from it to defend it properly.
Yeah, yeah. Like as I alluded to, you don't want to be confined on this objective. You don't want to be close to it because you're just allowing so much real estate for the offense. You have to deny them from being able to get around this objective, and in order to do that, you have to get far away. Again, super risky.
Something we didn't take a look at was if there was any subs in this map, and that is obviously not the case. So both rosters staying in and fresh, yeah, after that quarantine map. Both teams playing well on quarantine as well, so not surprised to see they stick with it. But we get a different spawn here for the Link Up team as they go on the attack. Actually, no, I think EVF spawn on this side as well.
It's the same one.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah. And the defense of EVF definitely prepared for this possible spawn, unlike Link Up was in the previous round. They're pushing it hard. Will coming up here. Going on a flank. Might find a couple, depending on which way he goes. But Cassiel also going for a flank, but gets turned down. Will manages to find his target. Cassiel, unfortunately, ran right into the lines of two.
And the real difference in defensive setup here is that they are not spreading out around the objective. And they are allowing positions like this from Hunter to be taken with great lines down into that objective space. And so Link Up can surround and attack. As I say that, Will catches one on their defensive side as they rotate around. Mike catches another, and Link Up get cut down to two. So
Will playing the wild card here.
Yeah.
But Blicking's going for it. Oh, but the call out comes out. Blicking the sniper. Going for the cap. Mike with the flashbang, gonna go a little too far.
Wow.
But gets outgunned by the automatic AK-12 and thought picking up a friendly. The wild card Will. Now evening things up for Link Up into a 2v2.
And we have stayed even, it feels like, throughout this map consistently as we get down to these last, well, I guess 4 minutes of map this round. You know, it's been a quick 2, but I take that because of the spawn. And as we get into this 2v2, I wonder what the approach will look like coming in from these teams. Mike has this window to be peeking out of. Very hard to ID them inside that dark space. Thought's a bit off objective, but again, they don't really have the advantage of controlling that height, and so Link Up have all the time in the world and a lot of options in front of them. They could send one all the way around for a flank to get position up onto the hilltop. They could lose one there in a trade, and Shepard could find the refrag to make it a 1v1.
Wow. Another 1v1.
I wonder if
Just
Shepard's
keeping
aware that
us
they're
on our toes.
keeping us on our toes. Imagine these players constantly put into these situations in the tent, constantly having to watch your team come down to a 1v1.
Was it? It was Shepard and Thought in the last one too. It's the same two players.
Oh, but look at this. Shepard finds the angle. Thought doing the right thing. Again, rotating around the objective, making sure it's not getting capped. And with this kind of objective, you really have to check a lot of different spots. And so they had to go all the way outside into that open space where they were vulnerable. Gets them killed, but does prevent a cap from coming through, which would have been series and map 2 in the hands of Link Up. Either way, Link Up now has a 3-1 lead here on EVF's map pick. And we switch all the way over to the North OBJ, which I do feel like is an easier one to defend.
Yeah, looking up, you have to cross so much of the map to get to the north side of that Chinook. But once you get there, all of that elevation change we've seen in previous matches get utilized pretty heavily in the higher tiers. You can do a lot by just crouching under and hiding just under the edges of hills. It's pretty tough if you let them get close to that helicopter.
This guy, I see an interesting question being presented in chat here. What sort of tips do you have to present to some new players on stabilizing the aim? The obvious suggestion is to go grab yourself a Pro Tube stock. But outside of that, what do you suggest?
So, something that I did whenever I first started actually using a stock and moved away from freehand is, as cliche as it might sound, the shooting range. Just getting used to not just aiming down your sights, but having your gun down and then flicking up onto each target. So you're not just practicing holding on a target, because a lot of Onward is running and then having to bring your gun up really quick to hit a target. So that's what I recommend practicing, is the flick shots. And after that, it just becomes muscle memory. You almost can do it without even thinking. I've gotten to the point, as well as many other experienced Onward players have gotten to the point of, they don't even need to bring the sight to their eye. They can bring the gun up at a 45 degree and still hit what they're wanting to shoot at, to a certain extent, of course. But it's almost muscle memory to be able to bring the barrel of the gun to the center of your vision if you practice it.
On board this duo here is Hunter and Nashorn. Rotate aggressively on defense at the start of round 5. Looking to kick this thing off with, again, some out-the-gate picks for Link Up. And especially with this momentum, they're up 3-1. This kind of aggression can really shut down the EVF squad if it pays off. Thought goes down right away. And Mike could have been up next on that hit list, but they've since tucked in and may be able to stop this aggression.
Wow, and trade comes out, just keeping things so close. But the revive is possible. Yep, it does come out 3v5 now, as Link Up is just denying any of these crosses.
Definitely not the start that EVF was hoping to have here. To lose those two on that side so early is definitely unexpected. And you can even see now Castile still not checking behind them. Even after hearing shots and checking the tablet, confirming that they don't have attackers on that side anymore. They seem confused, too, as they check tablet, hearing these footsteps, realizing that it's not their team behind them. It's Nashorn looking for something. Castile still sees the head of Nashorn here. Goes with the shotty and finds the kill as this aggressive duo runs into more action. Hunter looking for something as Will catches Shepard up over the top. This could actually turn into a very bad swing for Link Up. If Hunter goes down here, it could be a 3v2 advantage for EVF. Hunter's going to continue to apply the pressure. Flies down onto Monsieur V to get that kill. Will able to even the odds, and almost a team kill coming in. It is.
Wow. So hard to tell sometimes at distance who's who and what's what. Unfortunately, the Link Up squad not quite staying in communication with each other. The flank not getting called out. Now Castile opting to trade out the shotgun for a more ranged assault rifle. to help him make his approach into a 2v2, evening things up again.
It's and
It's a
again,
5v3.
the shoddy actually working here for EVF on a map that, for all intents and purposes,
Crazy.
it should not work. You know, the shotgun for that approach still somehow finds its kill there, but like you said, needs a little bit more flexibility with that range, and so they go with the AR. And with 2:20 left, EVF can afford to take a little bit of time looking for any sort of rotations out of link up. The trouble, of course, is link up now with only 2 left, not likely to be looking out for any long range picks. And you can see Blicking's tucked in on the objective, and link up is really just watching for any sort of flank that could come through. The real gap is the east side, where nobody is watching the rotation, but also EVF is not rotating to the east. So for now, link up is positioned where they need to be, and with 2 minutes left, there is a lot of ground to cover for Will and Castile.
Looking for the good approach here, and as you said, is definitely the east side. If they go more center east, like Will is possibly doing, if he just like swings right, goes up and around, he'll find the back of Blick, and Ghoul has no time to rotate.
Yeah, if they can kill Blick here, Will could be in a very good position. And I think Ghoul's recognizing that exact gap in coverage now, and you can see them rotating back to be sure that they're here on objective. Oh, actually, they're making they're making a bit of a.
He's gonna try and find the back of the offense.
Right.
Castile throws the AR off to the side for the close quarters of battle that's gonna take place here. He opts for his shotgun once again. Trusty shotgun and the trade into a 1v1.
This feels familiar. 30 seconds left to time. A shortage for Will, as Blicking is just staying as tucked in as they can. Blicking certainly has to hear this now, and as the tablet comes out, Blicking looks through the windows. I don't think they can cap from here. Yes, they can from that corner. Blicking rounds, and they're out of ammo! Oh my goodness!
What?
Wow.
The click clack of the tar.
Yikes.
And they made eye contact. They stared into each other's souls for a good couple of seconds and realized
EVF.
I think both of their lives flashed before them.
Oh, wow. Will with the tablet out there, not able to do anything as he rounds, and those bullet. Oh, man. Crazy. Don't think I've ever seen anything like that. EVF, hang on. They managed
not
to
much more to it.
Take that round, and we stay in map number 2. They are not done just yet. Now EVF goes on the defense, link up on the attack, and, well, we'll have to see how that attack looks. So far, it's certainly presented some coordinated efforts. This objective definitely going to require a good coordinated effort, though, because, again, you can't afford to really play this one pretty passively. You don't need to commit too far too early. You can kind of set up on the edges and hold the middle and allow the defense to come into your lines of sight. So, not necessarily been the case with these other OBJs. It feels like defense has been having to fend for their lives. But here, I feel like it may be a little bit more comfortable for EVF, and so we'll see. Obviously, we got down to a 1v1 there. Maybe we'll get another one here, Sky, as we get into round number 6 of map 2.
Non, je vais pas sur la plage, moi. Je vais aller camper à l'hélico, il rush. Donc,
The adrenaline definitely
Regardez bien
pumping
parce qu'ils sont
through
bien
the
découverts quand
muscles
ils
of these
traversent.
players. As the series is on the line here on map 2.
Curious to see what the defensive setup of EVF looks like here as they send one over into the center. No, two. As Monsieur seems to reinforce that as well. Mike gonna play the aggressive swing down this tunnel side, very much like the link-up defense, but Mike's not gonna continue to push this, or maybe they will.
Will getting buddy-buddy with the Dolphin way down on the beach here.
Attention,
Gonna
il y en a un
watch
qui est en
for
place dans
any
le bâtiment
flankers.
snipe là, à l'étage.
He has a decent view onto the 3-story. I'm pretty sure he just called out Hunter, as the only word that sounded familiar was sniper.
They do make their
And Mike
presence
going for
known.
aggressive swing.
Wow.
Oh, trade. It just stays even around here, folks.
That is a big pickup, though. It does prevent any more aggression from EVF, and now it's really all up to link up. The Warriors making their advance through that side. If they do choose to go through that tunnel side, that's going to be their path of least resistance. Up through the middle, they'll run into potentially two. Through that other side, there's two. It's going to be the tunnel entry that's going to give them the easiest access to objective, but only we know that, right, Sky? They don't have that kind of information. That tunnel side is also super easy to defend.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the difference in dynamic between what we know and what the players can know based on the shots they've heard, the people they've seen, the places they've cleared. It's cool to watch teams try and gather as much information as we have and how they do it. Oh, and the snipe shots come out onto Will.
Yeah, maybe Will getting
Next
a
target gonna be Monsieur.
little bit over rotation there. I think they committed a little bit too much onto that corner and ended up getting spotted out.
Three v 4 now. Thought pretty far off of objective over by the tank. Now Ghoul and Noshorn are making their approach from the east here. Castiel. Castillo gonna be the one to deal with it. Finds Ghoul as he's tucked into a very non-meta corner there. Noshorn's gonna have a tough time digging him out.
Yeah, they really are. That TAR 21 coming in to effect again. This time with bullets in it. A little bit more effective. As Nashorn pushes up, Castile is still tucked in, and I wonder if Nashorn is aware of this. Castile calls it out and flies the corner to find the kill. It seems like Nashorn not ready for Castile to be on that little tucked-in spot. And these two little off-meta positions from both Monsieur and Castile are doing great work against this link-up attack. Monsieur catching a couple up through the center, Castile shutting that down. And EVF, even with Thought not on objective, have defended and weathered this link-up offense well so far. But now the smokes come in, and here comes the duo push from Shepard and Hunter.
This is the critical point. Does Thought rotate back and help out his team, or does he maintain this angle to hold a possible flank? The trade comes out. Shepard rushing the objective. Monsieur going to be able to get these call-outs out. Pushing in. And another trade. Castile and Shepard to end the round.
That would have been map for EVF. That would have been map for EVF. If he wins that, if he finds that kill and doesn't trade, Thought's rotating around the long side. And so that cap is easy to enter in, and that's 2 points, which is 4-3 for EVF. But I guess a round's a round nonetheless, and EVF put up a defensive hold there to bounce back and tie things up 3 apiece. we now go to the center. Kind of fitting, isn't it, Sky, that we bounce around from the north to the south and then finalize things right here in the smack dab in the middle, with an objective that definitely, I would say this one's hard to attack. Just because of the ways, the lines of approach and where people can defend from. That 3-story, available for defense. Someone can be tucked into the 2-story across the way. There's all sorts of different nooks and crannies for the defense to be in, and I don't think I've seen this capped yet. Granted, there is that sort of slope to the hill and cover by the objective, and so if you do lose certain defenders, it can become a little risky, but I don't even know if cap's on anyone's mind here for this round, as it's really going to come down to just securing 1 point.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many cap attempts during this series, so I think they're going to go for the kills. They've definitely been on objective a lot as attackers and just focus on the kills. And as this objective, I got to lean towards agreeing to you. I think I got to give this round to the defense. That is my prediction.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hope that EVF takes this so that we go to a map 3 decider. Always when things, they get a little bit more exciting there when that series is still up in the wind. But who knows? We'll see what LinkUp's capable of as we get into round number 7. We made it all the way here without a single cap getting locked in. 6 rounds played in map 2. But still pretty quick ones, a lot like map 1. We did have some long ones as well, but feels like we got here quickly to map 2, round 7. We'll see how quickly EVF get up to this objective. Already thought here inside warehouse.
Oh, one shot down on the Hunter, who once again tried to take up that 3-story position. They were ready for it this time. But he's only down, which means he's actually pretty powerful to give out callouts here.
That's the team joining up here, and on the rotation to reconnect. Mike's going to catch another from LinkUp, and they are losing their defense quickly. You do see the rotation come in for that res, though, and it does seem to weaken up the defense on this side, allowing Castile and Thought to get inside warehouse, and Mike and Monsieur to take up commanding positions here. Still, though, that 3-story defensive position, the most important. They're going to have to cross out from that warehouse, and Hunter has a perfect line of sight down into that cross.
Watching Will way out in the south here. That's going to be critical depending on how he chooses to play this. He might be able to pick up 2 in the 3-story from the side if they expose themselves out that window, which Hunter has been doing.
I wonder if they could also just go up and get a cap under this defense.
Pick up Hunter once again, just getting a little too peaky. Now moving
Nashorn.
up the 3-story building. 5v3, Nashorn going for an aggressive swing onto most of the team here, while getting suppressed from the back. This man knows no fear.
Yeah, and Castile's shotgun proving less effective there in that corner exchange. Couldn't throw down a wall of fire, and Nashorn able to get away from that attack for now. And actually, Nashorn could rotate up if they wanted to. Catching heat from up top from Will is going to be trouble, and perfectly timed, as Thought's going to be swinging here on the corner. And I wonder if Blicking is aware that Thought's right here. Blicking goes down, and there's just one defender for LinkUp as Ghoul is left alone. EVF with 5 alive on the attack say, we want this to go to a map 3 decider, and I'm going to send it to a map 3 with shotgun kills, says Castile. What a exciting abandoned map there, Sky. Some wild plays, some intense rounds, and ultimately a lock-in here for EVF. We now go to Link Up Warriors map pick for map 3. What do you think we're going to be headed towards here? I'm guessing more range. It certainly has been the theme so far, and we do have maps like Snow Peak and Downfall available.
Might as well call it a day and go Downfall. Go, you've gone this far with the range.
No, I actually know what, I think I know what it's going to be. If EVF is going to stick to the game plan that I was informed of.
Oh, that's right.
Map 3 could be USS Quest, which would be a significant change from what they've been doing here in this series so far. Maybe the change EVF needs, because, you know, they've just barely won these long-range rounds. You know, they got 2 on Quarantine, but lost that map. They bounced back here on Abandon. And so maybe the close quarters will be the ticket here for EVF. And yeah, as we switch up, it is going to be map 3.
Steel's gonna like that idea.
Yeah, no kidding.
10 and 6 with the shotgun.
Maybe that's why we're headed to
Abandon.
USS Quest for the close quarters. Because we're going to play into that Castile shotgun. But who knows? They also pulled out the rifle as well. And so as we prep and get ready for what is going to be USS Quest for map 3, Sky, I mean, where do you think we're going to be? Are we in store for another 7 rounds here on map 3? I just don't even know how this is going to go.
I think, it's a tough call because the back and forth alluded to a lot of methodical, slow-paced play while also being aggressive. But this is all aggression. So
Yeah.
I gotta wonder if maybe one team's close quarter skill is just going to supersede the others in a way that's going to not be this back and forth that we've been seeing. Or maybe both of them do have the aggression at their disposal. We'll just have to wait and see. But you know, during this lobby change and stuff, all this talk about stocks in the chat, we didn't go into our sponsors like we planned on earlier.
Yes. A shout out to all of our sponsors that help support and promote the league. They end up providing prizing and cash to the VRML so that we can have an ever-growing prize pool. I think just recently it was announced it's over 7,000 in cash and prizing. And those sponsors that offer up those prizes include HyperX. They offer great quality mics like you see here, the HyperX Quadcast S, but also quality headphones like I'm wearing here, the HyperX Cloud 2s. We also are sponsored by ProTube VR. They offer fantastic mounts and a variety of them. You can get a core standard non-magnetic mount, or you can get a mount that actually offers haptic feedback. So they have a wide variety of mounts that you can pick up. They have even a haptic feedback pistol mount if you really want to get into it. And I think they're developing some new haptic feedback mounts as well. So they're really constantly improving and innovating on the mount field, the mount space. And so I would always recommend checking out ProTube VR if you're interested in securing yourself a solid, well-produced mount. We also are sponsored by VRML. VRML contributes to that prize pool. On top of that, we have VR Wear. They are our merch sponsor, and so if you do want to pick up some VRML clothing, you can do that. We also have Arma providing that coupon code that you may have seen. VRML will get you a discount if you want to go pick up a jersey like the one me and Sky are wearing. And last but not least, we are sponsored by Border Foods, one of our newest additions. Border Foods is one of the top Taco Bell franchises in the Midwest, and they offer great working wages, flexible working hours, scholarship opportunities. If you are interested in or looking for a job, I would recommend checking out borderfoods.com/VRML. You can find out all the information you need about the partnership there and learn more about Border Foods. It's a really good indicator, in my opinion, to the growth of VR esports, as we are branching out to more sponsors outside of VR, the interest continues to grow in the VR esports space, just as the space continues to grow. So I really do appreciate everyone that does tune in, everyone that shares, everyone that follows, tweets. It all does have a big impact on the overall growth of the VR esports space, and obviously the growth of VRML. So we appreciate the support from those sponsors. Go check them out if you haven't already. And we also appreciate the support from the community, for everyone that hangs out and tunes into these matches and is dropping by in Horizon venues. We really do appreciate all of the participation. And we are now just waiting for the Link Up Warriors to populate this lobby, the map that they have chosen, and then we will be underway. I also want to check. I think we are going into an official timeout here, Sky. 10-minute timeout being called by Link Up Warriors. A tactical one, but also a necessary one, as it seems that they have some folks in need of charging time. So hopefully they can get enough battery into the headset between now and round one, and then also between rounds. Because you definitely don't want to be down a player at a key moment like this. That is for sure, Sky.
Map decider.
No kidding. And your map pick, a space that you arguably should be comfortable on. Maybe less so with one of your key attackers off of that roster. But hopefully they can get that sorted, and we will be back here with map number 3, the map and series decider. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the action will unfold. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for patiently waiting for the beginning of map number 3 in this series here today. If you are just tuning in, my name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm here with my co-caster, the Sky Joker. And Sky, so far, this has been an exciting series to tune into, to say the least.
Yeah, I am definitely, as per usual, but especially now, not disappointed in picking up this cast. I'm so glad I managed to convince my work to let me take Sundays off so I can get in on this Onward action here in the EU times, on venues in front of a live audience, or semi-live, 6 minutes in the past.
Yeah, yep. It has been a fun one to tune into. The Hungary versus France battle has been well underway here today. One that I certainly was not anticipating coming into this. And we talked a little bit about it during map 2, but the community certainly heavily favoring the likes of EVF here today, and I can't really blame them. You know, if you look at the stats, you look at the history, you would certainly expect a team that has the experience that EVF does to come out on top here today.
Yeah, it's, again, definitely a battle of old mind, new mind, meta. But I think both of these teams have been using a mix of seasoned strats and new ideas, and both teams have been doing so very well. Again, the back and forth, the 1v1s, the trades, just constant throughout this whole series.
Yeah, it really feels like we've been tuning into a very solid, even setup, gold, maybe even higher matchup here today, as these two teams have been battling it out for all sorts of interesting plays and setups. We'll see now what we get as EVF go on to defense. Link Up Warriors on to the attack for map number 3 on USS Quest. Appreciate everyone that stuck through with the delays, but we are here now. And Monsieur V nearing a death or almost a couple of kills if they decide to peek at the right time.
Oh, a beautiful C4 toss from Thought to find Hunter. But Will almost getting a team kill as Thought goes for the confirm, but he's not going to get it. But he gets a trade. Hunter still resable. But now we have fighting on the other side of the ship. Oh, beautiful grenade from Castile. Gonna find Shepard.
And, you know, oftentimes you're safe from utility and whatnot by ducking in behind those cement bricks, but the nade went on top of the brick, and they didn't duck down tight enough. Blicking stays ducked down tight enough, though. Scoops up Monsieur V, trying to get over aggressive on the backside. EVF cut down to 3. They still have Blicking here down red lane, but also you have Nashorn on that side lane.
Trying to go for a revive.
Yeah, for us, the body went off the boat, but I don't think that's the case in game. As Nashorn.
For me, the body is still on the boat.
Interesting.
To show client side.
Yep. Yep. Maybe for Nashorn, maybe in game, the body is off the side. And so Nashorn,
little circumstance there.
Yeah, I can be able to get that res. They are going to be able to challenge Will here, though, who is tucked in. Should be hearing these footsteps.
Oh, Nashorn not quite aware that Will was in the back corner. Now Blicking going for the revive. He might be a little bit more fortunate in body position to be able to get this.
We'll find out. It doesn't seem like they're going to get that res. They draw up the rifle, making sure that Will doesn't fly out here and get a kill like they're about to right now.
Oh. Will swings just in time to find Blicking not quite ready with the rifle up. EVF going to take their first point on Warriors map pick.
A interesting start there. Warriors, you know, with this downtime, you know, they had some momentum going for themselves. Obviously, with that map 1 victory, losing map 2 is tough, so maybe the break was the right choice. But EVF still played that one very disciplined and actually even a little bit aggressive. You know, we saw that committal on that flank from Monsieur V that resulted in their death. You know, they are still clearly confident on USS Quest, even though this is Link Up Warriors map pick. So maybe Warriors in for a bit harder of a fight than they expected on this tight quarters. And I suppose we'll find out what kind of defensive layout they'll throw up as we do swap sides. And Link Up will go on to defend that exact same objective position. And that we didn't really talk about the objective in that round. It is definitely one that's vulnerable if you lose control of the red lane. So interesting to see so much effort committed to that outside edge of the flank.
Yeah, it really alludes to what kind of team you're going to be. If you focus red lane as a team on attack, you are a capping team. If you focus the flank on the other side of on the ledge side, you are definitely a killer team. You're going for a pinch. You're going to try and take down the objective or take down the enemy players. So there's a bit of psychology that goes on in this.
Indeed, there is. It's one of the many elements of the game that sometimes gets overlooked or not even considered by new teams that come in. It's just like any other esport, a battle of mindset. And geez, look at this play coming in from Link Up Warriors.
Wow.
We got to get in right away to this action as the smokes are coming in thick and heavy up through the center.
Oh.
But the flank is also coming in heavy.
SGL's on objective.
Yes, they are. They managed to tablet. They not tablet out. Shotgun out. Mike's here as well. Do they know how close they are to being able to cap? Licking is here and rotates and finds both on objective. Everybody else has died from EVF as the kills from Hunter on the backside come through. And in 30 seconds, Link Up Warriors win a defensive round.
Wow. That was so close to a cap. But
Yeah.
oddly enough, they opted to hide in the smoke, but they were blinded. And Blicking had just enough view of the two attackers kind of poking out the smoke, just enough to know exactly where they were at and find the 2 kills. But man, the gauntlet of smoke in the middle of that ship,
Ooh.
that's not, it's not something you see too often of the lower tier teams for sure.
Yeah, definitely a planned attack, just like everything else has been today. You know, both of these teams have come in with strategies in place for both defense and offense, and very rarely have I felt like something is random, you know, by one of these players or one of these teams. So really been exciting to watch. Again, like you said, some off-meta strats, which have been working, like the shotgun in some cases, but then also seeing it not work in others. And, you know, in case in point, that corner peek, the full auto rifle catching both might have been a little bit tougher to do with a shotgun. But I say that, and, you know, Castile has had great KDs, I think, every round with it so far. So maybe, again, the introduction of some new elements to the VRML that other players will start to adopt. Who knows? That's the beauty of the ever-growing space of the Onward game and it as an esport. There's always something fresh, Sky. It never ceases to surprise.
Never a dull moment here in the Onward VRML as we go into round number 3, keeping it even.
Did you almost say round 2?
I almost did. I almost
I heard the brief pause.
I said round, and then I had to look up and start counting.
Yeah, one
in
plus
like
one, dude.
that fraction of a second.
Yep. Off to the races is EVF, though, finding a kill and getting
Oh.
over aggressive in red lane. They lose another, so quickly a 4v4. And, you know, it gets risky when you lose control of red lane. There's real potential to be hit from the side and the back. And you can see that both Mike and Will have to adjust off of losing their defense there to be able to properly hold from a swing from Hunter or Blicking. And in the meanwhile, everyone else is busy. Nashorn finds one. Hunter scoops up one. A C4 comes out and over, and Nashorn goes down. A nice toss there. A trade on the back, and we're into a 1v3.
Warriors have the positioning. They just need to execute this thought. Making his rounds to check all the angles. Falls off away from objective. Just going for that push for the kill. And Warriors take another round. Now the Marsoc round, which is what they needed in order to come out on top. Now they just need to hold it and take the series.
Yeah, with this Marsoc dub under the belt, they have that advantage of now going into their, like you said, bulk round. Of course, you know, with the EVF, if they try and throw out another play...
Is it really an advantage?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Just because Warriors threw up that...
Especially with this objective being so far forward, this is the danger one.
Yeah. There's... And, you know, if there's any moment where this Link Up Warriors team isn't on pinpoint focus, maybe even a cap threat from the likes of EVF, which could put them up 3-2, and obviously in an even better position than Warriors there to be right there looking at series point. But, you know, it's all about these final moments, this final map. It's why I love to always see a map 3 decider, because it's really when the pressure's on and both teams feel it, no matter what the scoreline is. It's even if it's a comfortable lead 3-1, if Link Up Warriors can win this bulk round, it's still really not done yet. You know, we switch objectives, EVF go on the defense. I can't, and I think the remaining objectives, well, there's one that's kind of close, kind of fast in the south, but the rest are pretty far away. And so cap attempts aren't going to present themselves, I don't think, any more than they have already. As we get back into the action for round number 4, we'll see if EVF do go for a cap attempt or not.
Are we gonna see another smoke cloud?
Ooh,
Looks like they've learned from their past mistakes and are not going for that attack route this time. Oh, Hunter alone in the front center gets shut down by a wall of fire.
Yep, getting a little bit aggressive there on that side. Meanwhile, on the red lane, Monsieur and Castile working their way up to Blicking.
Nashorn picks up one assault, or one attacker, bringing us 4v4. Now it's a matter of, do they see the C4 in red lane? They do. Castile manages to disable that with the shotgun.
Is there 2 shotguns here? Monsieur V has been swayed by Castile. And we have 2 shotties.
He has been convinced. Converted.
Converted, there it is.
Oh, they're coming around the back. Oh, and he finds Blicking with a quick swing around, and now they have the back of the objective.
And pretty good control of the front as smokes start to come in. And the pressure continues to extend up there. Shepard goes forward.
Oh, Castile puts 5-ish rounds towards goal, but not quite close enough to do any damage. Ghoul picks up Monsieur. And Thought sneaking around the ledge on the backside I don't think they've realized they've given up that ledge. If he pokes over,
Whoa.
oh,
Oh,
the trade as he quickly spins around in a
Good steal.
180.
almost behind Shepard here. If they peek out, has to go for the pistol for the range. Can't connect those shots. The weaknesses of the shotgun presenting itself here, as EVF may very well. That could have been 2 kills. Shepard and Nashorn could have been dead with the help of a rifle there. Well, the pistol does do its job, though, and Nashorn goes down. Shepard should be able to get that res. Pretty uncontested, though.
Bring this to a 2v1. The shotgun skills gonna have to come in strong here. Smoke over the ship.
If anything, just
3
kind of
minutes.
distractions. Shepard's pretty far away from OBJ here. If Castile finds Nashorn, maybe a quick cap opportunity could present itself.
Ooh.
And
He's going
Shepard
for it.
spots him,
Shepard
so does
misses.
Nashorn, they both miss. Castile's still alive in
What?
this corner. Oh, a team kill! Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh jeez.
Oh, the pressure and the nerves were on in those final moments. The Warriors doing a weird decision to rotate off of objective to kind of swing around and go aggressive. Almost played against them and proved fatal. But they held up their end at the end and got their next point.
Oh, that was almost worst case scenario. And I really just think that they were completely out of ammo. I don't think they had any ammo for their shotgun, which is why it wasn't being used even in the close quarters, and they had no ammo for the pistol. And they just weren't able
It was odd.
Yeah. Again, not even 100% sure what the scenario was there, but I would, while we've seen the successes of that shotgun, there's also certainly its failures. And the range, presenting a difficult task to overcome twice there. As we saw the first shotgun, those 5 rounds not connecting at range, and then having to go to the pistol makes it obviously a lot harder. And so EVF, while they did take good, hey, it almost worked, right? Shoot, they won red lane pretty dang nice, but getting that crossover to objective was tough. And maybe, again, who am I to question what does and doesn't work? Because clearly we've seen the shotgun find its mark plenty of times here today, just as much as any AR. And it's been fun to certainly watch. It's like watching someone pick up a P90,
It's always enjoyable to watch the off-meta weapons get used and win, Same thing with off-meta strats.
See what we get here from Warriors as we go back onto the defense. And this objective, not an easy one to successfully cap. Can definitely afford a very disciplined and tucked in style of defense.
Oh, beautiful flash. Not gonna get acted on though. Harden Link gonna find. Oh! Thought goes for one of his infamous throwing C4s, but kills himself in the process. Flicking gonna find 2, making that rotation, but can't quite hit the shots. And all these reses are gonna come out. But Nashorn last up. He plays his cards right. He's in the right position. Oh! Gets caught, gunned down by Castile. And EVF commandingly take this round.
Yeah, a pretty aggressive defensive style, or defensive layout there thrown up against Link Up Warriors, and I don't think they were ready for defense to be pushing them on that objective, especially 3-1. With this OBJ, you really can afford to just kind of sit back and wait. You can allow the team to come to you. There's no secret angles they can cap on. They have to either fully smoke that space or kill the defenders around it. And there's plenty of cargo crates to be peeking from and different angles to be taking to look into that objective space. And so you don't often see commitments up that far up into the middle or red lanes, but they paid off huge for EVF. That C4 really nicely tossed, snagging them 2 kills, and then the res coming in. And then obviously a bunch of kills up through the center. Very nicely done from EVF, throwing that aggression there in a moment when I don't think anybody would really even expect it.
Expect the unexpected. That is the cliche wisdom always given and is ironically impossible to follow. But we give it anyways.
Taking a look at the KDs on the board. 7 and 4 for Thought, the most kills on the scoreboard so far. That C4 definitely a nice play that gets them a few. Meanwhile, Nashor and Hunter, both 4 and 3, 4 and 2 respectively. Blicking, I think, had a disconnect. I can't imagine they've survived every round and also killed nobody. But they are here now, and although their score line's 0-0, we'll see if they'll find any kills and if Link Up Warriors can take this final round. They just need one more round to lock in this series. I don't imagine EVF will make it very easy, as we already seeing some smokes coming in here.
Another aggressive turnout. Will's gonna shut down Hunter, the flanker. And there's the confirm. Shepard pushes out to try and get a refrag, but gets immediately suppressed back.
And this is a little bit more of the defensive style I'm talking about, where you don't need to push up too far. And you can kind of allow the offense to come to you. Blicking, link up team here. Definitely playing this one much more passive. And we'll see sort of attack EVF are going to try and string together. I think the thing that could be the most dangerous is Will's rotation here on the edge.
Yeah, he's a little out of sync with the rest of the team, I think. But if he stays in the back corner long enough... Oh, but the trade shuts down that potential. Into a 3v2.5. That's going to weaken the defense on that side, though. If another EVF member decides to rotate to that ledge, that's a pretty open rotation. Most of the Warriors have opted to focus central and red lane.
And this push up from Shepard is certainly risky, exposing themselves to potential angles from Castile or Thought on the edge, but also could find them kills. Castile is going to continue to push up here. Eventually we'll be running into Ghoul or Blicking.
So close on these lines of sights. Oh! And trade comes out. Shotgun to the face. AR to the chest. Shepard gets the confirm. That revive should come out, and it is all down to Thought to keep EVF in the series.
I don't know if that revive is going to come out. Yeah, Blicking is going to go over there and get it.
But first, he's going to steal his buddy's kill, because that's the right thing to do.
You got to pad that leaderboard, especially when it's on stream.
It's all in the numbers.
Down in the last 3 minutes, though, of what could be EVF's final round. Thought here looking to push out as Ghoul is dialed in to this late angle, or as early, I guess, you know, the one exit point for Thought. And it's going to all come down to when Ghoul's checking if they're going to be peeking. You know, it's all Onward time. But a lot of time for Thought to work with here, and so he can kind of wait, maybe even hope that the Warriors get impatient before they try and move with anything.
I definitely see him checking his watch, so he's well aware of all the time that he has. And that's exactly what he's doing. He wants Warriors to just get antsy and go looking for him, like a game of hide and seek.
It is a good play to make, considering what they know. Warriors have been doing this. They have been getting aggressive on this as the rounds tick down. And, you know, Ghoul is playing aggressive now. They've dropped off of the angle they were holding, and Thought can now work out. They've waited just long enough to be able to continue their push.
Continuing to tick down here on the time. Ghoul might find the side of Thought right here. He comes up the ramp, and he does.
Mag one.
Giving Warriors the map point and the series point.
Locking it in 4-2, the final score line 11-8. As Link Up Warriors take their first win in the VRML against a team that definitely made it hard-earned for them. EVF came in here today, put up a great battle. And like I said, we're really just watching two gold teams duke it out. I think EVF very much deserving of their placement in that gold division in season 12 right now. And Link Up Warriors, while they're silver now, certainly have the potential to push that up and continue to grow. And so despite their rough start, I think there is definitely something to look forward to with this Link Up Warriors team. And regardless, I'm happy we tuned into this one, Sky, because it was a really fun series to catch, and happy that we can broadcast it to everyone that is tuning in. A shout out to everyone that's dropped by, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or Horizon venues. We do appreciate everyone that has been hanging out. And if you are new, hit that follow button. Head on over to twitch.tv/onward_VRML and follow that channel as well. If you want to catch more VRML action delivered to you by myself, Sky Joker, and several new casters, as well as old, that you'll be seeing hopping back into casts as early as potentially tonight. So definitely want to go follow that channel if you want to catch more VRML action. Also, a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. Again, they help provide prize pools for our champions of the league at the end of the season, who are crowned first, second, and third. Those sponsors include VRML, contributing to that prize pool, ProTube VR, VRware, VR Cover, HyperX, and our newest addition, Border Foods. You can find out more about them by doing !Border Foods in chat or going to borderfoods.com/VRML. And you can learn more about all of our sponsors by going to VRML.com/extras, I believe, where you can find the sponsors page and check out all the information about all of our great sponsors. If you want to go pick up a ProTube or get a VR cover or buy some merch, that's where you will find all the information. Sky, any final thoughts on today's matchup?
I just want to know who that single connoisseur is who voted for Link Up Warriors, because that person clearly has a better, more efficient outlook on life than I do, and I need some advice from that person because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, who was?
They've got it all figured out.
who was the faithful decider there? Who knows? But they seemed to be able to predict a fantastic outcome for Link Up Warriors, again, as they get their first dub of Season 12 and their first dub ever as a team in the VRML. So congratulations to them. With that, we'll be signing off. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster, the Sky Joker. We'll see you all potentially later tonight over on Onward_VRML or next week for more VRML action. And until then, stay classy.